Hi everybody. I want to give you an opportunity to earn the full 25 points for the Theorist report assignment. This report was due earlier in the month. It hasn't been graded yet. However, after reviewing at least 5 or 6 of the assignments, I realized if I was to grade the assignment, there would be a lot of you missing points for some very minor, simple, you know, I don't want to call them mistakes. It was just lack of completion. So what I think is happening is that we're not fully reading the assignment guidelines, including the format, and then also paying attention to how many points you're earning in each portion of the assignment. So what's happened is a lot of energy has been spent in these first few questions where they're worth 1, 2, and 3 points each, but yet we fell short in answering questions 5 and 6, which requires you to think critically about what you read and apply it to a child that you have observed, or have some support information to back up what you are saying. So this area is falling short, and then we're putting a whole bunch of information in this area. Even where it says briefly explain this person's theory, some people have at least a page long worth of information without any citations or references. So this is where we dive into plagiarism. So, and then the other thing is the format. Okay, so it says adhere to the writing guidelines, and I've showed you guys where the writing guidelines is. It's posted at the top of the modules, at the beginning of the modules, and you should have citations, especially for questions 2 and 4. Because question 1 should be just the name of the theorist. That's it. So it would be Erik Erikson, and that's it, if that's the theorist that you chose. Then question 2 would be background information about Erikson, but this is not information you know personally, which means that you're getting it from a source. So you need to include the citation from where you got the information from, and then you need to have a reference. And so here it says include citations and cite your references. All information must be cited unless it is written in your own words and understanding of what you read. Okay, so a lot of them I have not seen one citation and or reference, which means that everything you wrote is your own personal information about this theorist, which half of it I don't even know. So I'm hoping you go back and include citations and references. So number 3, what is the person's theoretical perspective? So if we put Erikson for number 1, then number 3 would be psychosocial theory of development. So, and that's it, just the theoretical perspective. If we pick Piaget for number 1, then number 3 would be cognitive development. If we pick Freud for number 1, then number 3 would be psychosexual development, and so on. You get the hint. Okay, Lev Vygotsky would be social cognitive theory. So now number 4, briefly explain this person's developmental theory. So if you're explaining a theory, you feel that you really know it and you're grounded in it, then you're going to briefly explain it in your own words. If not, if you're using another source to help you explain this theory, you have to make sure you include citations, and then you have a reference at the end for the source that you use. Number 5, now this is where you need to apply what you know. Do you agree with or like this theory? Yes or no? And then why or why not? Yes, I agree with Erik Erikson's theory of psychosocial development. I agree with this theory because, for example, I'm currently in the stage of blah, blah, blah. According to Erikson, I can see how my life experiences, such as when I blah, 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 it relates to Erikson's stage and the crises that's taking place at that stage. And then number 6, using children you know or have observed, give an example of this theory. Well, according to my child, for example, who is 11, he's currently in Erikson's stage of such and such, whatever stage applies to that age group. So the idea is that I'm going to give an example of something I've observed my child do that relates to Erickson's theory. Okay, so you can see where numbers 5 and 6 requires you to do a lot more critical thinking and apply what you've learned about this theorist to specific scenarios. Okay, and that's why number 5 and number 6 is worth 11 points. That's almost half of the total possible points for this assignment. The remaining points come from the format. So were the questions and answers written in complete sentences, so you must type the question and then write the answer below it. Did you proofread and check for spelling and grammar errors? Did you number each question and answer? So it should be numbered just like this, not bullets, but numbered. Did you include your citations and cite your references at the end? And did you adhere to the writing guidelines? So was your assignment, you have to go to the writing guidelines for the details, but offhand, was it Times New Roman or Arial, just a plain font? Was it double spaced? Did you include your citations? Did you have a heading at the top, which is your name, the date, and the name of the assignment? Basically, did you meet all the requirements? So if you do all of this, you get 5 points. If you talked about a child and gave an example, you give 6 points. If you tell whether or not you agree and give an example that supports why you agree or disagree, you give yourself 5 points. Did you briefly explain the theory? 3 points. The perspective, 3 points. Background information, 2 points. And the name of the theorist, and the theorist has to come from this list. You get 1 point. 1 point. So what I want you to do is go to the your assignment, and I want you to let me know how many points you would give yourself. 15 out of 25 points. Okay? And that's all I want you to do based on your understanding of what was expected compared to what you actually turned in. Okay? And you have until, I think it's Friday, it's November 3rd. You have until then to do this. And then I will, I was telling me I will give you full points for the assignment. So the idea behind this is that I'm not trying to get out of grading, but I want you to move forward knowing how to use the assignment criteria in the rubric, the point system, to assess your own work, because a lot of you are missing points on some very simple assignments. And I hope that you take this into consideration when you do the reading about preschool assignment. So for those of you who did the reading about birth, you should have your points and comments posted. So you want to make sure you don't repeat the same mistakes, if any, when you submit your reading about preschool assignment. Okay, let me know if you have any questions.